Well, hello, race fans. Welcome to a new edition of the EKN OutLap. It is episode 77, August the 20th, 2024. My name is Rob Howden, joined by David Cole, who will be trackside this coming weekend at the Race Rotax U.S. Trophy Final at Newcastle Motorsports Park. And as you know, if you've listened to many of our podcasts, part of our trackside coverage, we have the OutLap Preview podcast. We follow the weekend up with the Debrief podcast, the Race Report show, where we kind of go into a deep dive of what happened trackside. In this show, though, the OutLap, we'll preview the race a bit. We'll talk about some of the teams and drivers that will be there, kind of having a look at the event before we all get trackside. This edition of the EKN OutLap presented by Parolin USA. Parolin USA is North America's source for Parolin products. The brand is rich in history and success, dating back to the early 1990s throughout Europe. Today, Parolin is among the winningest brands in the USA and around the world. Carters can head to the ParolinUSA.com website, where the entire chassis line and parts are available to you, with shipping available all across North America within 48 hours. Get on the chassis that's winning. Drive a Parolin. All right, David Cole, you're going to be solo this weekend here. You and I have been trackside for both of the last two Race Rotax U.S. Trophy Final events at Newcastle Motorsports Park. I've got to be out in Portland this weekend for the final rounds of the USF Pro Championship, so you're running solo, but back to a place you know well, Newcastle Motorsports Park.
Yeah, we were just there for the Summer Nationals at the end of July. So, yes, and been there, going there since 2004, 2005, I think was the first time I went down there. And yeah, so get back to Newcastle Motorsports Park and experience the third edition of the Race Rotax US Trophy Final at Newcastle Motorsports Park.
Yeah, the event taking place August 23rd, 24th, 25th. Of course, it's Tuesday right now, so later on this week, they'll be getting things rolling. And as we all talk, we talk a lot about it. Everybody kind of knows, I think, in the sport, how big the Rotax program is, the Rotax Grand Finals, the Olympics of karting, for all intents and purposes, an event that happens each year, located at tracks around the world, attracting teams and drivers in from different countries. Again, very much like the Olympics, where everybody kind of gets together to be on your national team. And that's, David, kind of one of the big things this weekend, right? It's all about trying to see, number one, you want to go try to win a race, but tickets still up for grabs to be part of your national team.
Exactly that. That's the biggest part of this event is 6 Rotax Grand Finals tickets up for grabs in the 5 different categories that are competing this weekend. So that's going to be the major headline of the weekend, but still opportunity for drivers to land on the podium, get additional awards and prizes as well. Again, and against a lot of drivers from a lot of different places across the country and many different countries that'll be represented this weekend. Looking at the weather this weekend, it's going to be comfortable up until Sunday when we have our main events. But thankfully, with the way the schedule works out, we are done, I want to say, by about 4 o'clock or 2 o'clock when you look at and when you're including the podium. So 82 high on Friday, 85 on Saturday, but 88 on Sunday. So but no rain in the forecast, so that's a good thing. And
I was going to say, hold on. You enjoy it, David. I went to the gym this morning. It was 55 degrees when I walked to the gym this morning. It's going to rain. It's going to rain in Portland. You're in the right spot. You're in the right spot this weekend.
Does it not always rain in Portland?
Well, no, that's just the fallacy. But listen, it always rains when you go to the racetrack, so I can't believe it's not going to rain this weekend.
It didn't rain in Ohio, so that was a good thing. So yeah, no, it's been getting better as the season's gone along. But yeah, we should be able to avoid the very warm and humid temperatures on Sunday, as we'll be done on track by noon. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, no doubt. The high 80s, if you get some humidity, would be tough for sure. Let's talk about the race itself, Dave, as we dive into our event notes. We're going to run the reverse national layout in the clockwise direction, a track that you and I have covered many races on before. It's a great track with lots of different overtaking opportunities.
It is, and it's the same course they've run over the past 2 editions of this event as well. So they know, everybody knows essentially the layout, the way it goes, where everything's going to be situated. And it provides really great racing. I'm jealous of everybody who's been able to be on the reverse national because it looks fun. It looks like a great time. Looks like, again, as you said, many passing opportunities around the course. It gives it a different feel, even though they designed it to go in the national or the counterclockwise direction. I really feel this place is better in the clockwise.
I ran the clockwise at the SCUSA Summer Nationals when I ran it last year. Man, it was fun. It's again it just lets you stretch the long straightaways, right? Which I thought was a lot of fun into a couple of really hard breaking passing opportunities. Now, David, Newcastle Motorsports Park, although it's had this U.S. Trophy final the last 2 years, no stranger to the U.S. Rotax program, right? Having the Grand Nationals back in 2010.
Yeah, that was when the Rotax Grand Nationals were a big ticket item here in the United States, getting nearly 200 entries for including DD2 and DD2 Masters at the time. So 7 different divisions at that time, including the Masters class as well. So again, a lot of history with Rotax at Newcastle, and especially this new era with Race Rotax.
Yeah, let's talk about the event schedule, David. Unofficial practice starting on Thursday with 5 sessions. Everything goes official on Friday, 6 sessions, 8, 13, and 13. So a couple longer sessions at the end of the day, but practice going on Thursday and Friday. Things start getting going. More stuff, some more fun stuff on Friday as well, but then the racing on the weekend.
Yeah, as you said, 6 sessions on Friday. Those are going to be the official sessions where we'll be watching everything. We will be there Friday morning to begin our trackside coverage on Friday. And then that afternoon, the evening after sessions are done, we're going to do the Mojo Team Tire Changing Contest. So we'll get more details about that. We'll probably do a live broadcast of that on Facebook like we did last year. So everybody can check in and see how it is and look back at it. It'll be fun. And then we get into Saturday. That's again, Situation Saturday. I love that terminology by Chris Wheeler. We use it for a lot of the events we go to, and it certainly is that for the Race Rotax U.S. Trophy Final. You got qualifying, 8-minute session for each of these. 2 heat races of 10 minutes plus 2 laps, 8 minutes plus 2 laps for the cadet divisions. And then that will set the grid for the pre-final, which will happen Saturday afternoon. Those are 13-minute plus 2 laps and then 11-minute plus 2 laps. And then Saturday evening, again, a little bit of a longer day at the racetrack on Saturday. We'll do the Team USA suit reveal and raffle prizes as well. I believe they're going to do an online contest for the Team USA design. So stay tuned for that. They're coming up with that information, I believe, later this week. And then Sunday, just warm up and main events. And those main events are going to be 16 minutes plus 2 laps, except 13 plus 2 for the cadet divisions.
Got to say, David, I like the finals only on Sunday, right? We do that for CKNA too. I just think it's so cool that all you're really doing, you warm up, but then just main events on Sunday. I like that.
Yeah, you have some B mains at certain events. A Cup Karts does the B mains or the last chance qualifiers just to give you that last bid for a spot on the main event. But yeah, again, USPKS, man, that's what we've been doing the last couple of years. It's been great. You have it at the big major events of obviously Super Nationals and Rock Vegas and other programs. But yeah, again, there's no question about who the big winners are on the weekend with the one final. Yeah. And again, with this type of event where you're handing out the grand final tickets, you got to have that big race for those tickets.
All right, folks, first break in the action here, episode 77 of our EKN OutLap. Myself, Rob Howden, David Cole, having a look at this coming weekend's Race Rotax U.S. Trophy Final at Newcastle Motorsports Park. When we get back after this break, we'll break through the numbers right now, what we've got so far in terms of pre-entries, as well as David will give us a look at the tickets that are available for this year's Rotax Max Challenge Grand Finals. What brand is known around the world for its innovation and success? It is Sodi Kart. The Sodi brand returned in full force during the 2023 season thanks to the new exclusive importer, the Karting Distribution, led by industry veteran Terry Germanovich. The French manufacturer Sodi Kart is a leader within the karting industry, offering a wide range of products and services. The Sodi Racing chassis line offers product in classes from mini karts to KZ, all based on years of development and championship seasons around the world. Sodi Racing USA has expanded its dealer network over the last year, bringing the Sodi brand to several local clubs and regional programs. The Sodi Racing USA by PK Sports is the official race team, producing many victories in different levels across the board. And the new Pro Race Academy is designed to cater to the next generation of motor racing, helping boys and girls aiming to make their mark. Visit Sodi-Racing-USA.com to learn more about Sodi kart chassis or call 954-634-5111 to become part of the Sodi Racing USA network today. Sodi Kart, the world leader in the karting industry. Made in the USA. That's exactly what you get from Precision Karting Technologies. Based in Detroit, Michigan, PKT brings over 35 years of manufacturing experience to the sport of karting. Their passion for the sport began focusing around the Kid Kart platform and has expanded every year with hundreds of products designed to put you on the podium. Precision Karting Technologies is known around North America for their successful line of axles, available in all age groups. PKT manufactures a number of engine products for Comer, IAME, Rock, Rotax, and the popular Briggs & Stratton 206. A wide variety of chassis components for the many brands in the sport are available through PKT, including hubs, pedal risers, skid plates, and other hardware for your kart. Axle straightening, chassis adjustments, engine service, and specific CNC machining projects are available through their Motor City headquarters. To learn more about the many products and services available from Precision Karting Technologies, head to pktaxles.com. All over the karting world, everyone knows OTK is the gold standard for quality and performance. In the US, OTK USA is the source for all things OTK. From the legendary Tony Kart brand to the race-winning Cosmic and Esprit chassis, and now the new Red Speed and EOS brands, OTK quality is second to none. All 5 brands are winning races and championships across the country in national programs like the Rock Cup USA Florida Winter Tour and the Challenge of the Americas, the SCUSA Pro Tour and Winter Series, and the Pro Kart Challenge, the United States Pro Kart Series, and the WKA Manufacturers Cup. And OTK products are also front and center on the podium of club and regional races from coast to coast. To learn more about a specific product line, you can find the OTK USA dealer near you, whether it's Tony Kart, Cosmic, Esprit, Red Speed, or EOS. Visit www.otkusa.com. Specific chassis territories are still available, so kart shops interested in adding a winning component to their product lineups can contact OTK USA directly. Welcome back to a new episode of the OutLap, episode 77. My name is Rob Howden. David Cole joining me here. This episode brought to you by Parolin USA, and we're talking all about the Race Rotax US Trophy Final that will happen this coming weekend, August 23rd to 25th at Newcastle Motorsports Park in Newcastle, Indiana. As David mentioned earlier, the 3rd edition of this event, and all of them, of course, happening at Newcastle Motorsports Park. David, let's look at the numbers here right now. Back in 2022, the initial year for this, 76 entries. Last year, they broke 100 at 103. Back down to 74 this year. There are some reasons for that, which we can discuss, but 74 pre-entries coming into the weekend.
Yeah, they had a little group come in over the last couple of days. I believe they still have some others that are going to be entering as well too. So we could surpass that 80 mark with 5 categories. That's a pretty decent number when you consider only 5 classes racing on the weekend. So great, going to be a good turnout, I think. Especially with senior and junior max being over the 20 mark. Senior max right now leading the way at 22. Junior at 20. So those are going to be the big ones. And that's where we have, we have 2 tickets available. We'll get into that a little bit later, but 2 tickets available there and then 1 for the other categories as well. But junior, we tend to see, that's where, we're seeing big numbers across the country in the junior ranks. mostly in the KA division. So good to see in 125 side of things, and then in the Rotax side, 20 drivers coming out with, a good mix of drivers from all across the country, but multiple countries as well too.
Yeah, and again, like we always say, right? So you got that senior category at 22. It's not the 33 that they had last year, but still 22 with a bunch of big names. And once we get in there, we'll talk about some of the top drivers who are gunning for a ticket for their respective national team for this year's Rotax Grand Finals. But as David said, 13 in micro, 9 in mini, 20 in junior max, 10 in the Masters Max category, and 22 in senior max. David, a number of countries, not just the USA, represented for this event.
No, and that's kind of the big thing about the U.S. Trophy Final. They're trying to make it an international event, and they've certainly been doing that. I think this is probably the most amount of countries that we had, because including the United States, will be at 7 countries represented. We have Canada, China, England, Bermuda, Australia, and of course Japan, with the new XGEL driver exchange program they did in 2024. We actually sent over Jackson Porter and Canadian Griffin Dowler over to race in Japan just recently. I want to say that was 2 weeks ago. They raced in a Japanese Rotax event over there, and now they are bringing drivers from that Japanese series over to compete at the U.S. Trophy Final. 1 driver in the junior class, 1 driver in mini, and 1 driver in the senior max. So that's kind of helped expand the international flavor of the event, with drivers from China and Japan coming over to compete here.
Dave, you mentioned we have 5 different categories on the weekend, so that's why, even though the numbers are 74, it makes for a nice, easy schedule throughout the weekend. But there are different tickets available, correct? Can you give me the lineup of the actual tickets that are available? 6 tickets, I think, up for grabs, right?
So there will be 6 tickets available on the weekend and be awarded on Sunday evening during the award ceremonies. Begin with Micro Max. There's 1 ticket open to only USA competitors. So ironically, there are only USA competitors in the field for Micro Max. Mini Max, however, is open along with Junior Max, and so 1 ticket for both of those categories. So 1 driver from Mini Max, regardless of your country. Same with Junior Max as well too. For Senior Max, however, there will be 2 tickets available in that category. So the winner in that category will be given a ticket to compete in the Senior Max category at the Rotax Grand Finals for 2024. The second place finisher in the Senior Max division at the U.S. Trophy Final will be given a ticket to compete in the DD2 category.
Oh, interesting.
When they go for the Rotax Grand Final. So very similar to what we had last year in terms of that. There was a DD2 ticket available for an open driver last year in the Senior Max division. That was handed essentially to the second place driver, but because of the way all the tickets last year were handed out, it's very confusing. It ended up going to the third place, et cetera, et cetera. And third place actually did not take it, so it went to somebody else. And there's a lot of scenarios and all this stuff. I think this year, however, it's going to be a lot simpler, because if they already have a ticket, they can't take one that they earn here. So that's going to be the only confusing side of it. Last year we had a little bit of confusion with, some of the reserve tickets were for East and West only competitors.
Yeah.
We only have that in the Masters Max category. So drivers who competed in the U.S. Trophy East or U.S. Trophy West series in 2024 for the Masters Max division will be the only drivers available to earn that ticket in the Masters Max category. So, and that ticket goes to compete in the DD2 Masters division at the Rotax Grand Finals. So that and Senior Max will probably be the only 2 confusing categories when we're looking at tickets. The rest are going to be easy.
There you go. All right, 6 tickets as we set up for grabs for the Rotax Max Challenge Grand Finals here in 2024 this coming weekend's U.S. Trophy Final at Newcastle Motorsports Park. Another break in the action. When we get back, time to dive into the categories. We'll look at Senior Max and Masters Max in the next segment. Motor mounts. They keep your engine attached to your chassis, right? The answer is they're much more important than that. Your motor mount is critical in transferring 100% of the power from your engine through to your tires and the racetrack. You need this to get on the podium each and every time you race. Odenthal Racing Products is here for you, providing the best motor mounts on the karting market today, all designed to make sure you're using all the horsepower you pay for. Odenthal Racing Products is a family-owned and operated business with decades of karting experience in providing products with unmatched quality and value for our racing community. The Pro Series mount for 2-cycle engines, which is available in 0, 5, and 8-degree inclinations, provides a rigid structure to help keep vibration to a minimum without adding too much weight to your setup. The 4-cycle Easy Set system is one of the most popular mounts for the Briggs & Stratton 206 power plant. Multiple mounting holes provide the most adjustability depending on your chassis and seat placement. To ensure a tight fit to your chassis, our ORP wedge clamps get the job done, and they feature a number of design updates to provide a lower profile and lighter weight. The clamps are available from 28mm to 32mm in both standard and Euro style sizes. And now, Odenthal has also revolutionized the karting industry with its new Easy GP camera mounting system. Designed to mount anywhere on your chassis with 1 or 2 cameras, the ORP Easy GP camera mount is your solution to capture that onboard winning moment. Head to odenthalracing.com and find a dealer near you. Odenthal Racing Products, proudly made in the USA. Wins at the sport's biggest races, as well as championships across all levels of karting, pack the resume for NitroKart. The NitroKart brand has made its statement as the best, fastest, and most reliable cadet chassis on the North American karting market. If you want to win in cadet, both in 2-cycle and 4-cycle competition, get a NitroKart and join the team. Team NitroKart will be at all major events, trackside with Ryan Perry Motorsport, the official race team. Owner Ryan Perry and his RPM operation carries the full selection of NitroKart chassis and parts, while also providing the same driver development focus as NitroKart owner Nick Tucker. You can also join the Team NitroKart race team at all major 4-cycle races this season. Led by longtime NitroKart tuner Cody Johnson, Team NitroKart will be at all the major Cup Karts North America events with arrive and drive opportunities available for all ages. Nitro Motorsports is a true karts-to-karts driver development program that is already gaining success after launching in 2022. Victories and championships in the Trans Am Series has highlighted the team's start, along with the success in the new GR Cup by Toyota. Current and former karters can take advantage of this unique ladder system with NitroKart and Nitro Motorsports. Visit NitroKart online and find them on social media. NitroKart, race one or chase one. Left without a mechanic or a crew to help you at the kart track or in the garage? KartLift Kart Stands is your solution. The company, founded in 2003, is now owned and operated by Ted Fashing out of Cokato, Minnesota, and Ted has decades of knowledge and experience with fabrication. KartLift takes pride in both our quality and our personal customer service that we provide on the phone or at the track. KartLift Kart Stands can be found at racetracks all over the country. If you race alone, or if you're a parent with a cadet or junior driver, let our one-man winch lift make your race days easier. Position the hooks under the rear bumper, push the button, and your cart is raised into position, and you're ready to go. We also have KartLift stackers for storing 2 carts at once, traditional kart stands, single and double upright storage stands, tire changers, and skid plate kits. Race teams and shops can contact us about our state-of-the-art chassis straightening table. If you have an idea for a custom stand, KartLift can build it for you. All products from KartLift are made in the USA. KartLift kart stands are available at many kart shops around the country, or you can order online at kartlift.com. For more information, give us a call at 877-777-8020. That's 877-777-8020. Get a KartLift today. Welcome back to episode 77 of the EKN OutLap as we preview this coming weekend's Race Rotax US Trophy Final. at Newcastle Motorsports Park. David Cole joining myself here, Rob Howden, as we break things down now. Time to dive into the categories here, class by class. In this segment, we'll talk Senior Max and Masters Max. David, as we mentioned in the By the Numbers, 22 pre-entries coming into Senior Max. Oliver Hodgson has dominated not dominated, but he's won the first two events in 2022 and 2023. You mentioned already the tickets that are available. The winner getting the open ticket, the second place finisher getting a DD2 ticket to go to the grand finals. Let's talk about the drivers coming in from the East and the West and have a look a little bit about some of the drivers who will be racing there this weekend.
Yeah, already with ticketed hands are the West and East champions from 2024. So Cooper Auclair from the West champion, he has a ticket in hand already, along with Wesley Gunler, the East champion. He was able to beat out Aiden Fox and Cooper Auclair, while Auclair winning the West over Canadian Griffin Dowler and fellow Canadian Frederic Lemieux, if I said that correctly.
Not bad.
Okay,
Not bad.
That's what I said. All right. It's the hockey, watching the hockey.
I understand. Yeah.
But in all total, there's actually 5 drivers in the Senior Max field already holding tickets. Obviously, Oliver Hodgson, 2-time defending race winner, he comes in with a ticket in hand already, very similar to what he did last year. He went up to Canada and got a ticket quick and out of the way. So there's no question, no doubt about him making a return to the Rotax Grand Finals once again. So you have Hodgson, Gunler, and Auclair. Another Canadian is Timothy Pinard. The PSL karting driver comes in with a ticket from the Canadian National Championships, which just happened, I believe, this past weekend.
Hamilton.
So he's already got a ticket in hand, along with Brazilian driver, even though it says Canada in the entry. Diego Ramos, the Brazilian, won his ticket at the Winter Trophy down in Florida already. So these 5 drivers already with ticket in hand. According to what I've been told, they have to hold those tickets. There's no relegations or any of that any longer, unless it deals with going into another category.
All right.
So as far as that, these 5 drivers have tickets. So if they were to finish 5th, first, second, third, fourth, and 5th, essentially the tickets would go to 6th and 7th on Sunday. So that's going to be about the only kind of confusing part of it, is trying to make sure and highlight those who have tickets already. So that way we know, okay, who's racing for the actual tickets, because again, there's no doubt we could see Oliver Hodgson gain a 3rd straight victory here at the U.S. Trophy Final.
Now, let's be real, though. If you look at the entry list, there's some big guns on here, guys that have won major races. Let's start with Brandon Carr. David, this is a kid. All right, I say kid, but he's kind of growing up now. But here's a driver out of England, Great Britain, who has done so well, won a bunch of races over here. He's always up front. Definitely a guy I think you're going to be watching this weekend.
Yeah, for sure. Brandon Carr has been, over here racing in the United States for the last couple of years. Is probably, I think, I don't have the rankings in front of me. I want to say close to being a top 10, if not in the top 10 already in our EKN driver rankings for tag competition. So he's been doing really well. I want to say he was the OKN champion last year in Stars Championship Series. So he's gotten the experience under his belt. Moved over to the Kart Republic at the beginning of the year, and at the USPKS event we were just out at Motorsports Country Club of Cincinnati, he was one of the quickest drivers out on the racetrack. So
number 5, number 5.
There you go, number 5. So so he's definitely got the speed. He hasn't been doing very much Rotax racing from what I recall. Obviously, it's been mostly IAME here in the U.S.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that has any hampering on his performance on the weekend, but certainly among one of the top contenders heading into the weekend.
Another one we're seeing here this weekend, reunited with Race Lab and TB Kart, the number 7 ranked driver in the country right now, Dalton Haynes. David, back in the paddock.
Yeah, an interesting. That was just a entry we just received this morning from Race Rotax. So going to be with Race Lab and TB Kart. He actually finished 3rd in this event last year, so he actually had a ticket to go and compete in the grand finals, but unfortunately was not able to make it. And so he relinquished that ticket. So it'll be interesting. Talking with him, he was focused on the IME Grand Nationals. That's going to be happening on Labor Day. This could be just one of those things that happen last minute.
Yep.
So when we get trackside, we'll learn more about that.
So we mentioned the EKN driver rankings. 4 drivers, did I say 4 or 5 from the top 10 are in this? Carr, Ramos, Haynes, and Cooper Auclair. 4 drivers in the top 10 of our EKN driver rankings are part of this action here this year. So very interesting. Another driver I think to watch out for will be Aiden Fox. Really knows the Rotax program and was very good last year as well, Dave.
Yeah, finished 4th last year. I'm looking up the 2022, finished 2nd in 2022. So
yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty good resume coming into the weekend. So he knows it. Just hasn't been able to complete it. I think that's kind of the deal. I think he did finish 2nd in the East Championship. So again, just coming up short here and there. So we'll see if Aiden's able to complete that task here this weekend. Another driver I see on the list, Henry Wheeler, has been really good recently with PSL Karting, making that move over. So he should be pretty good this weekend as well. So along with Frederic Lemieux is going to be in the field. So that's part of the Canadian contingent coming down. A bunch of Canadians, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Canadians coming down.
Let's move to the Masters Max category now, and there are some drivers that we probably would have expected to be there who aren't there, which is kind of surprising. One retired, as we said. We'll give a shout out to him, but 10 drivers coming in the Masters Max as pre-entries right now. The initial winner back in 2022, Danilo Ramalho. Last year, Ben Cooper, the Canadian, scoring the victory there. Dave, let's talk about what's kind of lined up in terms of the prize, the ticket, and then talk about West and East.
Yes, so the Masters Max category are racing for the DD2 Masters ticket to compete at the Rotax Grand Finals this year. It is reserved, however, for those drivers who have competed in the East or West Championship. And that's kind of what I'm doing right now, Rob, because I forgot to highlight those. So I'm looking at the points and seeing who actually qualifies and who does not.
Well, you've given us a couple right now, right, with the West, right? The West was Clayton Kessler, Billy Cleveland, and Chris Mann. The East, John Bonanno, Laurent Mardan, and Ray Bannock. So there's 6 of the 10. So you'll be able to kind of figure that out while you're kind of doing this. I'll throw a couple of other names out there that are interesting to see. Drivers we've seen here and there running. They actually run Super 2 USA. Ben Crittenden and Billy McLaughlin both entered into the event. They actually have a garage at Newcastle Motorsports Park. So they'll be, I think, very interesting to watch, Dave. I think, both of those drivers we know are fast and both are aggressive. You talked about John Bonanno already for Fulcrum Competition, a guy that has won before many races in Rotax competition. Your Trophy East champion. Alongside him, Laurent Mardan as well. I think both those guys, David, will be two who can find themselves on top of the box at the end of the weekend.
Yeah, Mardan was 2nd and 3rd over the last 2 years at this
super good,
event.
Right? Yeah, he was super good.
Yeah, so he's been there, just missing out the last couple of years on getting the victory at the event. I want to say he still was part of Team USA last year. I wasn't able to pull that up yet. There's, again, a lot of stats surrounding this event to try and pull up here for this show. But I did compare. So we have 7 drivers that are able to secure the reserve ticket. Crittenden, McLaughlin, and Brian Bullholes are the only 3 drivers right now entered who cannot win the grand finals ticket if they do win it. So the rest of the field are available, and that includes the top 3 from East and West that you mentioned already. Yeah. John Bonanno, winning the East, however, already has that ticket in hand. So he has the ticket. So if he were to win, it would go down to 2nd place or the next available driver on the reserve list. So Bonanno going back with Team USA.
So you mentioned Brian Bullhouse. I'll bring it out. So you got to get a chance to meet Brian, the bulldozer. Got a chance to spend a lot of time with him last year when I ran the street race over in Bermuda. Super good dude, coming over to run with from Bermuda, coming to run with TV Kart and Race Lab. So Brian's a good dude, and spent a lot of time with him, like I said, when I was out there with Skitchy Barnes and the crew out in Bermuda. It was fun.
Yeah, I've never been to Bermuda, Rob, so you keep rubbing that in my face.
Well, listen, dude, if they would have had the race back again this year, maybe we could have talked about it, but they're not having it again, which is a shame.
One name that will be missing, however, that we've seen Rotax racing for over a decade is Derek Wang, a 12-time Team USA member since 2010. We've typically have seen him at the Rotax races. I want to say he's kind of taken a step back from karting this year. We haven't seen him on Instagram at all. I sent him a message just to confirm because we haven't seen it. We didn't see him at the challenge races this year at all. So again, it's that's he was essentially Captain America, even though he didn't really he wasn't his personality wasn't Captain America. He was just Captain America because he was there every year for Team USA.
He's Derek Wang.
Yeah, he's Derek Wang. There is no other Derek Wang out there.
No. Hey, listen, and I'll do this as well, and because I hoped it wasn't going to be true, but we talked to him, of course, when we were at the race last year. But Billy Cleveland is not there this weekend, right? He told us he was going to retire. He told us he was done running big races. Again, I didn't want it to be true, but he's not running this weekend.
Well, he did try to get a ticket there at the West program. Didn't run them all. They had 4 race weekends, and I believe Kessler was the only one who went to all 4, so he was able to get that championship. But yeah, again, that's the Cleveland finally gotten up there, and again, he held up to his what he said, and is not racing the big race here this year.
Well, I always say when I first started back in the sport, I think it was 90. I want to say it was 96 or 97. I've been in the sport for a couple of years. I was working for National Kart News, and I've told this story to you, many people, many times. I showed up at what was then a WK Constructors Championship race back in, I think, 97. And Billy Cleveland was 40, I think, at that point, running Formula A against guys like Patrick Long and Danica Patrick and you name it, right? All the other the big guns. So he's been around a long time, has been in the sport, has been absolutely dedicated to it. So I hope we keep seeing him out at some of the club races or one-off races to have some fun. But I'll tell you, that's it. Billy Cleveland, most definitely a legend in the sport. That's for sure.
He certainly is. And, I think we'll still see him at races here and there over the next couple of years for sure.
Yeah, indeed. All right, another break. When we come back, we'll dive into a couple more categories. In fact, we'll do the remaining 3. We'll do a Junior Max, Mini Max, and Micro Max. After this break, we'll cap things off for this edition of the OutLap. There's a new hot button name in American safety equipment, Stilo USA. Every product with Stilo is focused on safety, comfort, and function. Stilo USA is happy to provide you with the proper safety apparel to keep you protected on the track, and their karting lineup is second to none. The ST5 KRT karting helmet is available for $599. Manufactured using a lightweight and extremely strong composite material, the KRT provides an excellent fit and comfort level due to its dual density interior foam lining, and it's equipped with a symmetrical visor that offers excellent vision and an effortless central visor locking system. The ST5 CMR standard was developed jointly by the FIA Institute and Snell Memorial Foundation to ensure safer and lighter weight helmets for the younger karters. Drivers rave about the superior comfort levels, lightweight construction, and the unparalleled field of vision. The perfect youth helmet is available for $549. Stilo didn't stop with their helmets either. The newly developed Carbon Curva Rib Protector is unlike any on the market, with its form-fitting solution to offer superior protection. Head to StiloHelmets.com to review these and many more products to keep you safe on the track. Stilo. Any competition, one helmet. It all started in my parents' garage. That's the foundation for MPG Motorsports, which grew from a small home garage in Indiana into one of the top race teams and kart shops in the industry. A true passion for motorsports runs deep in the DNA of MPG, which has developed strong connections within karting. Now based at the Whiteland Raceway Park in central Indiana, MPG Motorsports offers a wide range of opportunities through its race team while providing a full-service kart shop as an official dealer for the Kart Republic brand. The MPG Motorsports race team is led by ownership partner and karting champion Chase Jones and provides full trackside service and driver development. Be part of the MPG program at the USPKS, Stars Championship Series, and Route 66 Sprint Series events with arrive and drive opportunities available at those programs, as well as at the Whiteland Club races this season. A new 3,500 square foot shop is now open at the Whiteland Raceway Park in Whiteland, Indiana, and is the new home of MPG Motorsports. This new headquarters will provide local and regional racers with a full-service race shop that provides a wide range of parts and supplies to racers, including the full chassis line of the Kart Republic brand. For more, head to mpg-motorsports.com and follow us on social media. Let MPG Motorsports take your motorsports career in the direction of your choice. The Briggs & Stratton 206 engine is where out-of-the-box ease and outstanding consistency meet to create legendary races. Briggs & Stratton's history in motorsports dates back to when the first engines came off the assembly line in the early 1900s. Their focus on the grassroots level continues to help build generations of racers. Since 2008, the Briggs & Stratton 206 has gained a following that has the engine powering the largest fields in North American karting today. From the club level and track programs to traveling regional series and national events, Briggs & Stratton competition provides the most exciting racing in the sport. Engineered and hand-built exclusively for racing, every Briggs & Stratton 206 engine is power tested and serialized before it goes in the box. Karters can take that engine straight from the box to their kart and be on the podium at the end of race day. Be sure to follow Briggs & Stratton Racing on Facebook and through @RaceBriggs on Instagram. To learn more about the 206 engine or to find a North American dealer near you, head to BriggsRacing.com. Briggs & Stratton Racing, what powers you? Welcome back to episode 77 of the EKN OutLap. Rob Howden alongside David Cole. Let's cap off the final three categories on the docket here this weekend: Junior Max, Mini Max, and Micro. 20 drivers set to go in the Junior Max category. Cooper O'Clair scoring the win back in 2022. Wesley Gudler last year in 2023. Winner take all in this category. Whoever wins this one's going to get away with it, unless, of course, they already have a ticket. David could talk about that because, David, we start with the West side. Gage Korn, champion in the Trophy West program, has his ticket already, correct?
Yeah, has his ticket already, so he's not competing here this
not
weekend.
Even there.
Yeah, so there's no reason for him to come to the U.S. Trophy Final with ticket in hand already, and I want to say it's going to be his fourth trip to the U.S. Grand Finals. Won a ticket 5 straight years, but was only able to go over the last 4, obviously with the COVID in 2020. The driver he was able to beat out, and yep, I can't say it.
Want me to do it?
Go ahead.
Antoine Lemieux.
Antoine
Lemieux.
Yeah, the Canadian driver for Racing Edge Motorsports will be in the field this weekend, but already has a ticket as well too, as picking up a ticket from, I want to say it was the Open. Cody Schindel of Canadian Karting News gave me the info. Now I forgot what he said.
All right,
but
they run a Canadian
there were 4 or 5 different events this year in Canada where you can grab tickets.
All right.
And so Lemieux was at one of them and was able to score a ticket already. So even though in the field with a ticket in hand, the only driver in the field with a ticket in hand.
Yeah, Nick Eggleston was third on the West. He's definitely here this weekend. He'll be a driver I think is going to fight for it. On the East, it was Davin Roberts, Landon Buer, and Derek Wargo. I think
all 3.
I think all 3 are in the field there as well. 4 different nations, though, David. Let's talk about that here. It's the USA and Canada, but also Australia and Japan.
Yeah, Fian Shi under the Australia banner. I'll have to confirm that.
Yeah, that
I did not know
sense.
that Fian Shi was from Australia because he's been in the U.S. for a lot over the last couple of years. But also Japan as well too with the driver exchange. So great to see a good mixture. Canadians. What do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the field.
Hey, hold on. Did you actually try to get away without saying the Japanese names?
I did. Of course.
What do you think it is? Ryusei Sawada.
Yeah.
And Shotaro Tsunakawa.
Yeah, there you go.
That seems
You
pretty
could
good, right?
work for the Olympics.
I could do that maybe. There you go.
Rob, this is why I'm not an announcer at the race.
You know
I
how
cannot
to
say names.
Listen, David, we've said before, you know how to spell everybody's name. You just struggle with pronunciation. That's all.
Yeah.
That's good.
People hate it when I say Illinois.
Yes, I do as well. My back just, I got my hair. Ugh. Oh my God, Illinois.
Yeah. So we do have 5 of the top 6 from the East and West programs in the field. So that's going to help make this a strong one. I think Nick Eggleston was a Team USA member last year, so he'll be returning, trying to get a ticket to go back-to-back years. Isaac Malkit, another driver to watch. He finished 3rd last year here in the mini category. Fianchi finished 5th in mini last year here. So again, some drivers with a lot of experience, but some drivers that are looking to make a name for themselves as well too.
Yeah, Jackson Gibson, former SCUSA Super Nationals winner there as well. You got other Canadians like Cole Medeiros trying to take a run at it here. I think it's going to be a really solid group of drivers up front. And again, as we know, with this racetrack, David, with the long straightaway from 1 down to the I-70 hairpin, the hairpin back into to the scoreboard corner, the left-hander, you're going to get, number one, lots of drafting. Junior max guys, especially mini and micro as well, but the junior max guys are going to draft, and the minute they start fighting, everybody's going to come back in. So you're going to see, I think, 4, 5, 6 guys probably in the lead group. Yeah,
we had 6 drivers within a second and a half at the checkered flag last year in this category. So that'll tell you that.
So let's jump over to the Mini-Max class. Actually, I believe the smallest class this year at 9 pre-entries at this point. Gage Corn, winner back in 2022. Oliver Warner winning last year. Corn, as we said, has moved up to junior, but has already qualified through the Trophy Series West. Again, it's winner take all. The driver who wins is going to come away with this one. A couple of tickets already locked and loaded. Jackson Porter for his West Coast Championship, and Enzo Di Gennaro for winning in the East.
Yes, Porter will be in the field this weekend, but Di Gennaro not on the entry list as of today. So just Porter there with a ticket in hand. But we do have 2 Canadians in the field with tickets in hand. That includes Leo da Silva for Racing Edge Motorsports, and Jeremy St. Cyr for PSL Karting. So Da Silva picked it up last weekend at the Canadian National Championships. St. Cyr in the open event that was held, I think in Quebec. Yeah, other drivers in a shorter field, a couple of Canadians, as we've said. We'd already talked about Da Silva. We talked about St. Cyr. We also have Olivier Chassé in the program as well. Privateer Gage Grant, Luke Kajanapatak, Nico Katowski, William Vitor, and another David, one of the Japanese drivers coming over as well. Itsuki Hayashi will be part of the action as well. So a number of Japanese drivers. So I'm sure Japanese karting will be focusing a lot this weekend on what's happening at Newcastle Motorsports Park. Yeah, the only driver returning from last year's field that finished in the top 10 was Luke Kajanapak, finishing in the 6th spot. So that's the only driver with experience at the event in the field this weekend. I know William Vetter just finished, I believe, 2nd at the USPKS event in Ohio. So his coming off a big first career podium finish. So that could be a name to watch. I think Newcastle is his home racetrack. Yeah, so that's impressive. Interesting. We'll have to see if he's able to defend the home turf. All right, let's look at Micromax, the youngest category on the weekend. 13 pre-entries. The last couple of winners, big names in the sport here nationally in the U.S. Marco Sammet and Lucas Palacio winning in 2022 and 2023, respectively. Again, you have to be a USA driver to win this one. West Coast was won by Lucas Tarango. Paxton Romero was 2nd. Connor Lipka 3rd. Griffin Vukic won in the East. Jack Katowski and Slate Harrell were 2nd and 3rd. David, let's talk more about some of the drivers and some of the notes we want to look at for that Micromax category. Yeah, all 6 of those drivers you just mentioned are in the field, so that certainly helps put the competition level up there as with all 6 in the field. Of those who have experience at the event, you got to look at Cam Becker Cam Becker, I don't think ran any of the East or West. I'm not sure. Yeah, ran only a couple events in the West, so wasn't able to finish top 3 in that championship. But Cam Becker finishing second last year in this event behind Lucas Palacio, with Connor Lipka finishing in the 5th spot last year. So those are 2 names with some experience at this event and already. I know Paxton Romero was another driver who's been at this racetrack a couple of times already as well. So that's a driver to watch. But I think Tarango is going to be do very well. I'm not sure about Griffin Vukic. Haven't seen that driver yet before. So again, we'll have to learn more about him as well on the weekend.
David, talking a lot about the excitement in Colorado with the what was once the track at Centennial being rebranded and completely redone. So Colorado Karting kind of focus. Forward Direction Motorsports, which is based in Colorado, bringing 3 drivers out, David, on the comp kart chassis with Pedro Sueta, Sebastian Johnson, and Paxton Romero as well. Paxton, probably the one driver we know out of that trio that we've seen run nationally around the country.
That's correct. Yeah, we've seen him run all different places all over the multiple different formats in the sport. So yeah, I'm not sure that's on the Pantano or not. So
yeah, it says comp kart, but they are a Pantano program.
Think they have a cadet chassis yet, so I think that's why they are comp kart drivers. So.
Well, I'm sure you'll get that will be a fantastic paddock insider when you land at the track.
Boom
on Friday, right?
Great segue.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I'm here for. Tyson Underwood, we know a driver who's had experience before at the trophy final, right? And last but not least, you talked a little bit about local knowledge. We talked to some of the drivers who have garages there. One of them, Hudson Howard. Obviously, his dad, Jay Howard, who runs a team in the USF Pro Championships, former Indy 500 driver. But Hudson's really starting to come into his own, David. You've watched him at a couple of races recently where he's kind of been in the middle of the fight. Young kid that we're seeing get better and better every time he gets onto the racetrack. And to be have a home track like this for Hudson, he could be a driver who runs, especially in this micro class. He hasn't jumped to mini yet. So I think he's a guy that could be fighting for a race win this weekend.
Yeah, his second year in the micro division, finishing 9th last year at this event. Certainly has gotten better and better every time he gets into the seat of a kart. So we'll see if he is able to defend home turf, very similar to what William Vetter is trying to do in Mini.
Let's wrap this things up, David. Henry Beaudet will be on the microphone once again. I was hoping to be there for my 3rd straight year to be alongside Henry, but not going to happen here in 2024. As I said, I'll be out in Portland this coming weekend for the final rounds of the USF Pro Championships. But you will be trackside with all our coverage that we always do for eKarting News and our trackside coverage, top 10s, the Paddock Insider, obviously the scale videos for the winners on Sunday. But also you'll set things up. We're going to stream it live. So if you want to be there and listen to the live broadcast from Henry Beaudet, eKartingNews.com/live or eKartingNews.com/radio. Plus, we'll be streaming on the mobile app as well, correct?
Correct. The mobile app. So again, anywhere you go, you'll be able to listen to the action live from Newcastle Motorsports Park and listening to the great Henry Beaudet call the action all day Saturday and Sunday for the main events.
Yeah, the voice of Rotax. He's the guy that's on the mic, the primary dude at the grand finals every year. Hashtags will be hashtag EKN at Rotax, hashtag US Trophy Final, hashtag Rotax, or hashtag Race Rotax. David, that wraps things up here. Back to Newcastle Motorsports Park. You got more than one race still coming at Newcastle this year. You'll be there for the USPKS finale as well. And then, of course, you and I are going to go racing at the CKNA Grand Nationals. So a number of trips still heading to Newcastle for you.
Yeah, it's typically a second half of the season destination for us, but excited to be part of the third the U.S. Trophy Final. Again, we were part of the Grand Nationals for many, many years, and that was an amazing event. And again, Race Rotax is striving to make this event something like that once again. Again, lots of different scenarios with the way the schedules fit and when the Rotax Grand Finals are actually held. This year being in October in Italy, it kind of forces everything up further into the
Yeah.
calendar rather than later. So that's part of the issue in 2024. So, but excited to be part of it. And again, award 6 tickets to this year's grand finals.
And David, that was something we really didn't bring up at the start. Obviously a late August weekend for this on the schedule, not where it's been the first 2 years. So some challenges there with drivers still in other kind of programs. We talked about USBKS and some other programs that are still running, right? So the fact that the grand finals got moved up into October really kind of pushed the guys from Race Rotax to do what they needed to do to move it in the right direction.
Exactly, because you got to give the competitors time to get ready, make sure their licenses are set, get their travel plans set.
That's it, yeah.
Because again, there's no other event like the Rotax Grand Finals.
Folks, thank you so much for tuning into this edition of the EKN OutLap. As we said before, David will have coverage Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Look for the Paddock Insider. And, of course, all the coverage through qualifying, heat races, a lot of the stuff that David does trackside to bring you a little bit closer to the event if you're not able to be there. And of course, although there won't be any live video this weekend, we will have our live audio as we have for many, many years on the EKN Radio Network, ekartingnews.com/live for our live page, ekartingnews.com/radio if you just want to pick up the audio call from Henry Beaudet. It's going to be a fantastic weekend. Weather looks really good. Like we said, mix of sun and clouds, but temperatures in the low to high 80s throughout the weekend. Couldn't ask really much more from a late August event at Newcastle Motorsports Park, one of the finest facilities we have in North American karting. Again, episode 77 of the OutLap is done. We'll be back next week with a debrief to wrap everything up from this year's Race Rotax U.S. Trophy Final. Thanks for listening to the podcast here. Hope you enjoyed the weekend, folks. David Cole will be trackside from Friday to Sunday. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. My name is Rob Howden. Bye for now.